Hey, what's up? Welcome to Seoul, the capital of South Korea. I just arrived early this morning on an overnight flight from Philippines, Cebu. Hey, it's a guy from my hostel. And I'm staying in somewhere called K-pop Stay here in Hongdae, which is a really cool area based on what I saw walking through from the nearest metro station this morning. But it was very quiet and there wasn't too much going on as it was around 8 AM at that time. But it's now 6 PM and the vibe is different, the sun is setting, and I'll be able to give my proper first impressions of Seoul by walking around this area near my hostel. So without further ado, let me show you some point of view shots to get things started. I'm only going to be here in South Korea for 3 days, so I'm staying in Seoul. I'm not going to bother branching out. There's so much to see in this huge city, so I'll probably aim to make 3 videos if I can during that time, 1 each day. It's developed, hipster, a classic image that you would imagine from Korea. Not too many skyscrapers in this particular area, Hongdae, and more like small buildings filled with tons of independent clothes shops and Korean food. The thing that immediately stands out to me is the fashion of everyone. Maybe it's just this area, maybe it's Seoul, or maybe it's Korea as a whole. However, it's really startling to see the fashion of everyone and observe what they're all wearing. When it comes to data, South Korea is probably the best in the world. And I picked up unlimited internet from the airport earlier today for around 27,000 won, which is, I think, 18 pounds. And that's quite expensive, and it's for 5 days. But it's unlimited data at a very high speed. And the airport has Wi-Fi, everywhere has Wi-Fi. You're never going to be short of internet here in South Korea, that's for sure. It's really cool to be able to connect unlimited all the time at high speed. This road's opened up and lots of food on the other side. Mostly Japanese and Korean. Tiger Sugar drink place, forming a queue already. Super popular. It's kind of funny how many people keep covering their faces when I'm doing these point of view shots, or moving away from the camera. I think if you'd never been to Asia before and you were to come straight to Seoul, it would be a massive culture shock. There are so many things that are different to the UK where I'm from. It's hard to put my finger on specifically. I think it's just cultural style and personality. The traits are just vastly different. All these fried street foods look so good. I'm gonna have to try one. Quite a few different stalls selling them. So I couldn't resist, I had to try something. I picked up 5 gimbap pieces for 2,500 won. It's not bad, it's pretty similar to sushi, wrapped and with rice and vegetables inside. I needed to add quite a bit of that soy sauce to actually taste a bit more flavor. First time I've really seen a main road today, and actual traffic. One thing that's going to be useful for you to know before you come here is that Google Maps doesn't really work. You can see in this shot here how I was trying to use Google Maps to load the details of the street but was unable to once zooming in closer. That's to do with South Korea's security. They don't let Google Maps show their country for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it's to do with North Korea. Apple Maps, however, doesn't restrict the details of the location you're in and works pretty well here in South Korea. It may not be 100% accurate, but at least it loads where you're going, which is what you need. It was extremely useful this morning for me to try and locate my hostel. I would have really struggled walking from the station, just trying to use my own initiative. So Apple Maps is good. There's also a few more apps, one called Naver Maps as well. But I would say, just based on my experience today, Apple is doing pretty well here in South Korea if you have data already bought from the airport. Tons of modern food places around this area. Korean grill, which is so famous. And here too, I can smell the smokiness. Look at that. Not really sure what's going on here.
바로 시작하도록 할게요. 네, 그래서 처음부터 그냥 아무 부끄러움 없이 음악 바뀌었네 업템포 그래도 난 예전에 다운템포 아주 안 마셔.
Different performances and people can sit around and watch whoever they take their fancy to. The amount of streets with so many things on them doesn't end. You can see there's more here. Just stumbled across another one. I think Hongdae is a huge district. I'm now on the lookout for some food. A bit further on, I'm just going to keep walking and let's see what I find. Most of these shops, clothes, bags, hats, men's, women's of course, all down this road. Since the beginning of my video, I've walked quite a long way and I still don't know which direction to go in. I'll have to use maps to track my way back because there's no way I can remember. Every time there is just another road you can take, but I'm going to continue straight as this seems to be the most happening direction. I just picked a random place off the street, and one thing that might be quite standard in Seoul is no English. You might have to just guess by picking a random dish. There are also many places that do have English, but there's also many that don't, so a bit of both. Just finished my dinner and I've hopped back outside and now it's completely dark, as you can see all the lights and everything. I had a noodle soup with kimchi on the side, which is the most famous food arguably here in Korea. Kimchi is fermented or spicy cabbage, also radish on the side. It just complements the main dish. It came to 5,500, which is kind of a standard price. I get the feeling it really comes alive at dark. We've got cats climbing trees here and women singing karaoke in the window for everyone to see. I've completed a little lap where I started this video, walking down this way from K-pop stage, just behind this alleyway, and I've just come from this direction. I'm gonna end the video here. Far more coming from Seoul, so stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing a bit of sightseeing tomorrow, visiting famous palace, old villages, and hopefully more exciting districts. This is just one small part of the city. There's a lot more to see in different areas, so hopefully I'll be able to cover as much as possible during my short stay here in Korea, in the capital. So for now, all I can say is that it certainly lived up to the hype. It was even better than I expected. Just walking around this area in Hongdae, I've been pretty blown away, and I would say far more lights, far more going on, a lot more interesting and more epic than I ever could have imagined it to be. So that's a huge compliment, and perhaps Seoul is a slightly underrated destination, who knows? Or maybe it's just not as well traveled because it's not on the tourist grid. The only way to get here is to fly. Most people opt for Japan, or they travel in Southeast Asia and they skip Korea. So anyway, I'll end it here. See you tomorrow. Peace.